It is 5 minutes past 8 a.m. on 32 FM 94.9. The program is The Podium. And this is the voice of Hezekiah Oluwaseun Akinrinde, your regular anchor on the program. And Nigeria continues to grope in the dark. Insecurity ravages the land like a predator that has found its prey. And then the issue of politics and governance stays forever with us. The president, earlier in the week, in his usual manner, left the shores of the country to seek medical succor out of Nigeria. United Kingdom appears to be the mecca that the president has chosen since he ascended the throne of political leadership 6 years ago. Now, a lot of complaints have been made by people and criticisms have come on the trail of this decision. Do not forget that for almost 30 years, Nigeria has continued to discuss the subject of staying together or going the separate ways from the perspective of the constituent units, or if you like, you say the ethnic nationalities in the country. Restructuring is on the lips of everybody. Medical tourism is on the lips of everybody. Corruption is a discussion that never goes away. And then the ineptitude of those in governance. On the program this morning, I'll be doing two things. The first will be to discuss the reconfiguration of Nigeria. We'll be considering what are the doables and what are the undoables. You'd recall that about 2 years ago, Pastor Tunde Bakare of the Latter Rain Assembly, now Citadel Global Community Church, said the president told him that too many people are talking about restructuring. The noise is too much and we do not know exactly what people want. So what we have started doing on the podium is to engage leaders of thoughts, intellectuals, and political juggernauts who have an understanding of what restructuring is. What you will find in the coming weeks is that different people will state different positions on what they understand about restructuring. But what you cannot take away is that the present arrangement has failed, it is failing, and it is doomed to fail in the end, except we decide to sit down, dismantle what we have, and then recouple it after the order of serious nations. So this morning, I'm going to be engaging an intellectual in a few minutes from now. And after that, I will open the phone lines so that you also can participate in the discussion. And then, of course, you can discuss restructuring or whatever other focus in our national life that has caught your attention. I'm tempted to play two songs this morning for my music break. I'll see which one comes first. But then, maybe I have to drop one later. The song that has been ringing in my head is Which Way Nigeria by Sonny Okosun. It is a question that is valid because you keep wondering, in which direction exactly are we going? Are we walking in the direction of light or we're walking in the direction of palpable darkness? You can watch me live this morning on YouTube at 32 FM 949 Ibadan. At 32 FM 949 Ibadan. And then take down the phone number in advance 090 62,000 949. You're not calling now. When it is time, I shall let you know. But just write the phone number in case you do not have it 090 62,000 949. I'll take my first music break and I'm playing Which Way Nigeria by Sonny Okosun.
I shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
Which way, Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way, Nigeria?
Tell me.
Which way to go? I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria?
Tell me.
Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know.
Want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Oh, yeah.
Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh, sure, sure.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many, many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't fall.
Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Green revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh sure.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Our ambition to be millionaires is running the country down. We all want to be millionaires and to live in the air. Oh, let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah,
I want to know.
yes we want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Remember that a simple step is the beginning of a million miles. Let's start right now to repeat ourselves so as to make the country smile. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh sure.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Heaven and earth will pass away. It is written in the book
All right, and that was Sonny Okosun singing Which Way Nigeria there, asking that we don't allow Nigeria to die now, but which way really is the country going? You never know. You wake up one morning and it's a dose of sadness. Another morning it's a dose of disillusionment. And then the question never stops coming. Which way Nigeria? What next should Nigeria do? So on the program this morning, to discuss with me reconfiguring Nigeria, the doables and the undoables, is he describes himself as a former, a voluntarily retired federal civil servant and an advocate of federal equity. Now, he's a leader of thought, he's an intellectual, and he has written a number of position papers on what he thinks should be done about Nigeria, especially with respect to the present federal arrangement that we have. Joining me on the podium this morning is Dr. Akin Fakbonda. He's joining me on phone from Abuja. Dr. Akin, good morning, sir. Hello. Do I have you there? Good morning, Dr. Akin. Okay, I guess I need to check this line. Just a moment. I'll be back. All right, I believe I shall have him now. Dr. Fakbonda, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Okay, thank you. It's nice to have you on the podium this morning.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's start off from this point. You have written a number of papers, position papers on the question of Nigeria staying the way it is and how it should be. So I'd love to ask first, does Nigeria have a problem? Because there is a school of thought that believes the problem of Nigeria is hyperbolized, it is exaggerated. Do we really have a problem big enough to consider reconfiguring what we have?
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning to listeners on this station. Our greatest problem is with those who don't believe, those who are doubting. Mostly, I would like to give them benefit of the doubt that they don't know, especially those of our brethren who are just limited to stay in one place, did not travel around Nigeria. Many of us, especially, we have lived in Lagos all our life. We've not interacted with Igbos or Fulanis, or we don't even know the difference between which one. So because your street is okay, it doesn't mean the country is okay. The country is dying. In fact, the country is virtually dead. Because we are just in a graveyard and life is not just good anymore. And then if we don't believe that things are wrong, just wait for a few more months. The government has made a very great mistake of not fixing refineries. Petrol will become 250 naira a liter very shortly. Dollar is already up to 500 naira. And then we import everything. We can't continue like this. The elites that are ruling us, they just like to suck and cheat us. It can't continue like this. Change is just, the blind can see, and those who are deaf can hear that there is problem in the land. Let me just stop there for a follow-up question.
Okay, now, in your paper, which you presented in February, precisely February 25, 2021, at the National Restructure Actualization Summit, now, you asked a question. In fact, you opened with two questions, which you credited to the late Chief Bolaige. Number one, shall we live together? And number two, How do we live together? Then this was what you said. You said, I'm quoting you now. You said, regardless of the subtle quest by some elements to network for political trophies in anticipation of 2023, the overwhelming desire of Yoruba people is to refrain from any further participation in the process of elections unless and until a new constitutional order is negotiated and enacted. Recent events of insecurity across our lands affirms the correctness of this posture, as only the living can exercise voting rights, not the dead. The question is this: you have a prominent son of Yoruba land who is already making a play and is crisscrossing the country in order to establish new political relationships to achieve an obvious end in 2023. But here you are saying that the general sentiment of the Yorubas is not to participate in any election anymore. How true is this posture?
Absolutely correct. The gentleman you're talking about, from all parts, has no credibility. No sane human being will follow him because he's never been a very truthful person. And leadership is about truth, about transparency, about seeing far ahead. If somebody cannot see far behind, how can they see far ahead? But there's no problem. There's always people who profit from the existing decay and they hold on to it. The millionaires, people who go in aeroplanes, these people, ask them, where are their factories? Where are they making the money? Do they even have a bookstore where they're selling books? Are they making hamburger? Are they selling amala to make the money they are spending? So reasonable omoluabi, Yorubas believe in the call omoluabi means somebody who have been born and bred very well. They will not just take money from the public and use it to deceive the public. The poverty level is so much. Nobody is talking about power. Nobody is talking about the roads. Nobody is talking about the schools. We are presently now, doctors are on strike. Nationwide, doctors are on strike. Next week, judicial officers will be on strike nationwide too. Should anybody be talking about politics with all this going on? This week, we don't know whether it's 30, whether it's 50, or 500 persons who are killed in Bonny State. This week, redeemed top members are still under kidnap in Kaduna. 7 students of the school are also kidnapped. How can somebody be talking about politics with all that is going on? We just lost 2 pilots in the last 2 days now. Nobody knows where they are. The problem are just too much. Only the sick-minded will not see this thing that we are all seeing.
Now, Dr. Akin, if the Yorubas are mobilizing to stay away from elections until there is a constitutional reform, like you posited in that document, would they not be shortchanging themselves in the long run? Because you would think that the Yorubas recusing themselves from the election will not stop the election from holding. And then when it holds and a new leader emerges, would they not be subjected to that same system?
That is not true. Look, once you would refrain from conferring legitimacy on a process, it must fall. Absolutely.
But does the majority, will the majority not have their way? It happens even in the National Assembly. When the minority, when the opposition would decide to abstain from voting, and then the voting goes ahead and the decision is binding on whosoever the law is meant for.
The classical reference was to the 1964 elections in Nigeria. There's an alliance between the then Action Group and the NCNC to form OBGA. I hope people in the audience are old enough to remember. There was a boycott call in 1964. It was observed in the Western region, but the Easterners took part in the. The results were announced. Some people won, but did they win? From that day of that election, the government lost legitimacy. The government lost credibility in the eyes of the people because the Yorubas boycotted the election in 1964. It's not the same day that you start something that you see the results. The results came to be in 1966. So if the country decides to go ahead and they say they ignore the Yoruba and they want to run, if you have a boil under your armpit, can you really live well? Can you be at peace? Boycott was what Nadeko did after Abiola was killed. The Yorubas refrained from taking part in the government of Abacha. Is boycott too. Once you have psychological, philosophical boycott of a system, you stop talking.
But doctor, you had some. I'm sorry to break there, but you had some Yorubas who served with Abacha. So can you really say the Yorubas boycotted that government?
Two people, I can mention two people now who were the arrowhead of taking part with Abacha. The respected Lateef Jakonde. He refused to leave Abacha regime.
Mm-hmm.
The next person, Ebenezer Abatokwe. The sun set on their career on the basis of their refusal to leave Abacha regime. Look, people who are old enough will know how the Yorubas hold Lateef Jakonde in the way he followed Chief Bafemi Awolowo. But that single act of not leaving Abacha regime finished him in Yoruba land until he died recently. Everything has consequences. Those who are in support now, Yorubas never forget. And I'm able to say on this forum today, the people who followed one of us, Chief INT'L Akintola in 1964, even he himself, in Yoruba land, can anybody tell me what monument, what thing does Yorubas remember INT'L Akintola with? Outside the Bomosho, nothing significant is mentioned with the name of INT'L Akintola. It's not my making. These are the facts. People will not know that the road from Dugbe to Mokola was named Akintola Road. Nobody calls it by that name.
The road from Dugbe to Mokola?
Yes. Nobody calls it by that name up to now, to show that when Yorubas don't like what you are doing, not everything is about bringing out guns and shooting you. But the Yorubas don't forget when you do things against their interests. It's an historical fact. So those who are doing what they are doing now, it's better for them to retrace steps. If you don't retrace steps, you will see, mark my words for it, things will not be the same for them. Then we don't have to be 100% in support of this Yoruba opinion. Majority is what carries the vote.
How did you know the majority, Dr. Fakunda? I mean, was a referendum conducted?
I've given you, there's no hall where all Yorubas will meet. But I've told you now, I've told the audience that, look, from 1964, Yoruba never wanted to be part of any federal government. That was why the action group in their meeting in Jos in 1962, voted not to be part of MPC government. There is a division. The Akintola group, the Awolowo group. Yorubas knew whom they followed. They never wanted to follow federal government. Let me also give you the point. In 2014, it appears that Yoruba said, well, okay, we have been in opposition for a long time. Let us try the North for a change. So the Yorubas, majority again, followed Tinubu to join with CPC of Buhari. But within 6 months of Buhari coming to power in 2015, 2016, the groundswell opinion started coming that we don't like what the Fulanis are doing to us. People started calling for sovereign national conference. This cause, look, Yorubas are listening. They are listening. Forget about people who have been settled among us. We always, in any family, there's always people who are settled. But majority of Yorubas are of the firm conviction now that the gamble with our brethren from the north, we have been insulted, we have been abused, and everybody has to go to your tents, O Israel. It's just based on historical fact. Yorubas never voted for Obasanjo because Yorubas can read, they could read that he was an imposed candidate. He never won in 1979, overwhelmingly. Even the second election.
1999, you mean? 1999, you mean? You said
1999. 1999. We all know that Obasanjo never won psychologically in the minds of Yoruba people. You cannot take him off. I don't mean disrespect. Obasanjo has paid his dues, but he cannot walk the streets of Yoruba land as a true revered son of Yoruba land. He cannot. It is a fact. Nobody can challenge that. So those people, Yorubas have a means of, we're educated. And it's not for nothing that we're educated. Yorubas know where the interest is. And they will decide the sounding. I know that for sure.
Okay, doctor. Now, you discovered that presently in Yoruba land, you have a lot of groups. A lot of groups are springing up. And then each group appears to be taking its own position on how Nigeria should be restructured. Now, what you can say exactly is that what is common to all of the groups is that Nigeria should be restructured, but you have different proposals. You have some who say, let's get out of this system completely, pushing for secession, while some are pushing for, okay, look, let's have financial autonomy for the states. Others are saying, let's have a political restructuring. Now, knowing the way Yorubas can be, you cited some perspectives of history, notably that of late Chief Ladoke Akintola and Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Now, are we not, I'm finding a better way to put this. Are you not worried that unifying the different interests in Yoruba land may prove to be a Herculean task, just as history has shown?
Look, the bottom line is that most now don't like what we have. There is almost unanimity that we don't like the way we are. So we are united on that. Majority, a vast majority. There are those who are benefiting from the system who want them to continue, no doubt. But majority now know that what we have is not good enough. The way Sunday Igboho was received, the way Iba Galadams is being received now, are good indicators. Now, as to how do we proceed, as to what will be the end, It takes time for 30, 40 million people to decide. We are not going to be just like a yes or no. It takes time for consensus to be built on an issue. There is no problem of we are not disunited at all. And we're just not using the right English word. We don't understand the full essence of certain English words. People say, oh, restructuring is this, is that. People don't, let people check the dictionary of the word restructuring. Let people check the difference is just secession. Secession means you make unilateral declaration and say, oh, by May 1, 2021, Yorubas will leave Nigeria. That's secession. The way the Igbos did it in 1967. But as to whether we are going to negotiate how we are going to be free, we are all united on that fact. And there is no change about it. So I believe that it's going to take some process. We are getting there gradually. And people will be surprised. One little thing will just be the catalyst that will swing everybody in line. I have that conviction that we are united on the purpose. We are united on the goal that we want to be on our own, in our own territory. Being on our territory is not a threat to our neighbors. Let me give an example. There are Yorubas in Benin Republic. There's a border. They speak French, they speak English. Does that separate us from the Yorubas in Benin Republic? It doesn't. When there is problem now in Yewa, did they not move across the border to Benin Republic very easily? So Yorubas will be good in their territory, and but we'll separate from the Igbos, we'll separate from the Fulanis. And the separation doesn't mean that, oh, Yorubas will not be in. I live in Abuja. It doesn't mean I cannot live in Abuja. But while being in Abuja, I will know that I'm in Gwari land. I'm not in Yoruba land. I will live in Abuja. Foreigners are in Abuja. Lebanese are here. Syrians are here. I think they will live in Ibadan. But we know you are in Yoruba land. We know you are in Gbagi land. And you behave yourself. You will not declare Lagos a no man's territory. You will not say that. But what we have now allows some people to say Lagos is no man's land because they want to cheat us forever. It can't continue. In summary, we are united, but it takes time.
There is a proposal, I believe is before the National Assembly. I saw that document about 3 weeks ago. Now, it speaks to the reclassification of the 6 geopolitical zones we have in Nigeria. I wouldn't know if you have seen it, Doctor. Now, where the Southwest, for the Southwest, now, essentially what they are proposing is a creation of additional 6 states. But in truth, only 5 will be created because Kwara State would be moved over to the southwest to make 7 states here, and then some other states will also be merged in about 2 locations while new ones will be created. That will bring us to 42 states. And then the argument is that it is a step towards restructuring so that no region feels left out of the big meat at the federal level. Do you think we're making any progress at all? And maybe I should add this to it. It's also been said, reference has been made to the purported financial autonomy that has been granted local governments and the judiciary. Don't you think that some steps are being taken in the direction of restructuring already?
Look, when somebody is drowning, to be fighting to just survive. The 2 things you have mentioned, they are just people People are benefiting, trying to put woods over our eyes. They're just trying to deceive. But we are past that stage of being deceived. Look, the bottom line is this. Yoruba land and areas where Yorubas have big presence have to be aggregated. The opens of Kogi, the governors of Kwara, they are Yorubas in spirit. Lumping them with anything and all that is they're just wasting time. Even the Shekiri, they have Yoruba flavor. The bottom line is that let people look all over the world. Sweden is for Swedish. Germany is for Germans. Holland is for Dutch. Norway is for Norwegians. France is for French people. Britain is for English people. Even in Britain, there is Wales, there is Scotland, there is Ireland. Identity is very important. It's a source of pride. In other countries, people start crying when they are singing their national anthem. They will shed tears. When the time comes, when Yoruba become liberated, and we are Yorubas, and we are cousins, the bond of unity will make us do things that seem impossible. I can show you. Financial autonomy that they are talking about is fraudulent. There is no more money to share. Crude oil that is being used to share, the crude oil is finished. We can't even refine crude oil. We can't get petrol. Which autonomy from where? You rob Peter to pay Paul. You take all the money from Niger Delta, take it to Abuja. Then you say you want to share it, autonomy. Then you take VAT from the southwest. All the money generated from Lagos port, which the area is destroyed because of too many tankers. Instead of putting the money back into Apapa to make the place livable, you take the money out. You now start sharing it to Kara Namoda. You share it to Unguru. You share it to Zamfara. And you say financial autonomy. You share money on the basis of empty land mass. Nobody is stupid on these facts. Let me tell you, my brother and the listeners. They're just pulling wool over people's eyes. Control your resources. Make your own money, your own territory. Nigeria should be run like a club. You pay dues into the club to run common services. That's how it's supposed to be. Nigeria should be a cooperative. You pay dues to finance defense, finance affairs. And then that is it. But to think you can collect money from everybody in Abuja and then start autonomy to share the money like manure. They're still in charge, so they think they can be fooling us. Okay, fine, that's okay. But it can't be forever. I'm very sure about that. So they are all fraudulent. My dear listeners, they are fraudulent.
Okay, last 2 weeks, was it last 2 weeks? I think last week when I engaged Abagu Kole Omololu, who is the organizing secretary of the Afenifere, I asked him a question, and I'm going to ask you the same thing. This is an ideological fight, I believe, or ideological struggle, if you like to put it mildly. The question is, how much of a handshake does the Yoruba race have with other ethnic nationalities that have similar agitations with us? Now, talking about the likes of Masob, IPOB, talking about even the Arewa, People's Arewa Consultative Forum, talking about the Northern Elders Forum, because recently the Northern Elders Forum has also been speaking up on restructuring. Do we have a handshake? Are ideological summits holding behind the scene?
To be honest with you, we are unequally yoked.
I couldn't get that, sir.
We are unequally yoked with all these people you have mentioned.
In what sense?
Yorubas are pace setters. Yorubas are far ahead in determining what we want and how we want to run ourselves. Our problem is that we have been held down for too long, thinking that we are part of Nigerians. Look, we have to decide. Yorubas are not Igbo. Yorubas are not Hausas, they are not Fulani. It's a matter of destiny that Yorubas we have to provide leadership. We have to drag all of that along. We cannot work at the same pace as they do. When they see us move, they will follow. It's when Yorubas moved in the 50s, Yorubas moved to many areas, then they follow. Waiting for them, we will not have had TV station now. Waiting for them, we will not have done free education. Waiting for them, we will not be living in our message. So we have no reason, we can be talking to them. But we should take our own destiny in our own hands.
Okay, Doctor.
But we must be peaceful. Must be peaceful. That's just the point.
I'd
Yes.
love to interject you now. If you're saying the Yorubas are ahead, we need to run our own race, take our destinies into our hands. Can we fight this battle alone if other major ethnic nationality groups are not working or is not working with us? Now, can we go the whole hog on our own? Are we not thinking too highly of ourselves, seeing how complex this situation is?
First, I'm not advocating that we bring out guns and start shooting. It's intellectual warfare. It's to show that we are determined and we are resolved to run our own society.
But do you fight intellectual warfare alone when you can easily reach out to those who share your pains, who share your realities, and then bring them in to swell the number?
They don't share. Take the Igbos. I must give them credit though that they don't trust us Yorubas because they see Tinubu who is trying to be president of Nigeria. When Yoruba say we don't want again, but in the heart of an Igbo person, they still want to become president of Nigeria. 80% of them want to be president. They want the system that is decayed now. They want to be, at least let them taste it too. So to that extent, can we taste the present system now for another 8 years after 2023? We can't. To that extent, we were talking to people, not that we're going to say we know to talk. The system will even collapse on its own. We are going to be talking, but we cannot just 100% go to bed and say until Ijoman comes in, until Gbagiman comes in, until Dukuma comes in, we will not be organizing. We are already organizing, we are organizing. In fact, my challenge is that, look, if they tell us to be free from tomorrow, we are not even ready. We are not ready. We need to do many more things in our own territory to show that we are serious about running our own lives. Our own territory now is even bankrupt. The six governments have run us aground.
We're even going to come to that, Doctor. I just wanted us to get done with this before we now come to, because I've been asking myself, what is it that we have in the economy of the Southwest to stand on? But before we get into that part, you touched something I would like to dig in a bit. You talked about the Igbos not trusting the Yorubas, right, Doctor?
Yes.
Okay, can that mistrust be separated from the events that happened during the Civil War when Chief Obafemi Awolowo, as the Minister of Finance, was credited with giving an advice to the then head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, which led to the defeat of the Igbo nation aspiration.
Don't mind the Igbos. They single out Awolowo just because they want to. They don't even know what they are saying. In the same government, there was Shehu Shagari. In the same government, there was Ameno Kano. In the same government, there are all northerners.
But was it not Awolowo who gave that killer advice?
Awolowo used juju to control all of them in government. Look, so because Awolowo did something now, I myself now am now guilty. They just, it's all this lie that they peddle. The bottom line is that they declared unilateral war. They never even had cutlasses to even fight. They declared Biafra. Yorubas paid a price to persuade them to slow down. They refused. Wale Soyinka went there. He was detained. SM Aluko went there to persuade them to slow down. Let's talk. They refused. Awolowo went there to talk to them. They refused. They said no power in Black Africa can subdue Biafra. They were shouting on empty stomachs. And then Nigeria, Yoruba could not have followed them in 1967 because the soldiers in Ibadan who killed Fajuyi, they are northerners. Soldiers in Abeokuta, they are northerners. Yorubas don't join the military in the 60s. Few Yorubas are in the army in those days because Yorubas believe in going to school. Very few Yorubas in the armed forces to fight. Very few. How could Yorubas go to war with Biafra when they had nothing to fight with? It's a very stupid idea. In the same way they were also saying the Igbos, oh, Yoruba land should be left for them, for Zeke to be the premier. Is that not stupidity? A man comes to your house, he says you should give him his wife to sleep with. Is that the way to be expected? So Yorubas will stay down in 1954. For Zikwe to a premier in Ibadan. And then also a premier in Enugu. What kind of stupid idea would that be? Do they think we have no brains at all? Let's face it. Let us not be talking about this thing in a way that we appear so weak and stupid. How could Zeke think he will be premier over all Yorubas in Ibadan in 1951? Just because he won the constituency in Lagos. How could it be? So, my knowledge is that, look, so the Igbos, they can keep saying whatever they want to say. Look, let's not pretend anymore. I'm a Yoruba person, I'm not Igbo. So let everybody take care of his own family and his own cousins. In fact, this it annoys me when they say this kind of nonsense many times. What they say is, that's why they're now saying Lagos is no man's land now. Because we allowed them to take over Alaba electronic market. Would they allow it in their own region too? Please, let us look. All these things they tell us, we take too much bullshit from other people. We are too accommodating. Too accommodating, it is wrong. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Akifakunda, we will take a commercial break now. And then when we come back, we will begin to discuss on the numbers, because I saw the document you wrote yesterday and I looked at the numbers, and there are questions on those numbers with respect to the states that you can call the Yoruba states. The podium returns in a moment. Dr. Akinfakunda is not going anywhere. I am not going anywhere. You two don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
FM 94.9.
This Easter, Are you looking for a perfect place to relax and spend memorable time with family and friends? Or you have it in mind to organize a retreat for your religious group or business colleagues? Think no further, as Classicos Inn is the right plug for you in Ibadan. Classicos Inn is a 3-star hotel located at the center of Ibadan. We have different room packages: the deluxe room, executive room, and suite packages, which includes 24/7 security, parking space, in-house laundry service, and a choice breakfast. Also, our 30-seat and over 100-seat capacity event halls will be available for use during this period. Promo runs from 15th of March to 15th of April 2021. We also have an Easter extra special promo where you lodge in any of our rooms for 3 nights and pass the 4th night free. This promo runs from Good Friday to Easter Monday. Classicos Inn is as 123 in Feludun Street, Orogun Junction, adjacent University of Ibadan, second gate. For bookings and inquiry, please call 0903-959-1450. 0903-959-1450.
Adio. Baba, ẹ kú kalẹ̀. Wá wo nǹkan. Ó rí pé àtòkèrè ló ń là káyè tí wọ́n wo sàkún nǹkan. Ṣáájú káwọn kan tó máa fóúnjẹ láwa lójú, níjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ti káwọn ọ̀dọ́ kan jọ sílùú Awẹ́ láti máa kọ́ nípa iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ lọ́nà tìgbàlódé lábẹ́ àmójútó àjọ INT'L.
Mo rí bẹ́ẹ̀ bàbá, ṣẹ́yìn ọ̀gbọ́n tí ń lọ ń gbòòrò ni wọ́n ní ìṣèjọba tí ń bẹ lóde báyìí audio government ni wọ́n ń pè.
Èwo lẹ̀ ń pè báwọn.
Ìjọba tí ń fẹnu yàrá sọ́bẹ̀.
Àdìó mi bí mo ti wí fún wọn pé kò yé wọn pẹ̀lú ọ̀bọ̀já wúrà ṣé nǹkan tá a fojú rí ni àbí n tó farasin. Àkànṣe iṣẹ́ ń lọ lọ́wọ́ lórí àwọn ọ̀nà jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Iṣẹ́ sì ń lọ lọ́wọ́ báyìí lórí ètò ìlera tó múnádóko. Ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ò sì gbẹ́yìn o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì làwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àtòṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì ò láláṣẹ mọ́ kí wọ́n tó rẹ́tọ̀ wọn gbà.
Bàbá gbogbo ń tẹ́ ẹ sọ yóò tọ́ ni kò sí rọ́ńbẹ́. Àmọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ yìí lọ́wọ́rọ́ pọ̀ kò jónú. Ẹ̀rí bí gbòòrò ti rí ni ṣé bó ṣe yóò rí nu. Ẹ sì mọ̀ pé eégún tó bá rorò làwa kó bí ìbọn lẹ̀.
Àdìó àti gbọ́n jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Eégún tó bá ṣoore fún wa báyìí làwa ń kó bí ìbọn.
Ẹ kú àgbà bàbá. Ilé-iṣẹ́ ètò ìròyìn àṣà ohun ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
Something great is happening. Check it out. Pythagoras Lounge and Cafe official launch. Oh yeah. No darling. Let's come together to catch maximum fun at this groundbreaking event coming up on Sunday, the 4th of April by 4 p.m.
Ìbàdàn. Fàájì tó dápé balẹ̀ Pythagoras Lounge and Cafe ti dé. Fàájì tó dọ́ṣọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àjọ kí káàbọ̀ lọ́jọ́ kẹrin oṣù kẹrin ọjọ́ Sunday ló máa jáde tán.
Featuring Adewale Ayuba, the guest artist, MC Prince Will, DJ Gav Pop, Dancers Alliance, and lots of intriguing performances at Pythagoras Lounge and Cafe, number 1A, Obabimbola Way, Idiodo Challenge, Ibadan. Table of 8, 500,000 naira. Table of 4, 250,000 naira. For table reservations, contact 0808-300-1988 or 0708-734-4243. Pythagoras Lounge and Cafe. Faji Berekete.
Moments can be ordinary. It's what we make of them that really matter. Make the best of every moment, every day, like super moms do with Indomie. Moments to laugh with Indomie. Moments to share with Indomie.
Agbára ó yá yí ọwọ́ padà.
Ẹ̀rọ wìtìwìtì ẹsẹ̀ gírígírí. Ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Thursday láago 9 òwúrọ̀. Ní new garage tí wọ́n ń wa mọ́tò tó lọ sí ìdí ayùn rẹ̀. Gas Clinic Solution Mountain. Nínú pàdé agbára yẹn ni wọ́n ń lọ. Power must change hand. Agbára gbọ́dọ̀ yí ọwọ́ padà. Ọlọ́run wòlíì obìnrin gbẹ́mi Sọ́lá Ibrahim. Ó fẹ́ gbàjọba lọ́wọ́ alágbára tó ń yọ ayé rẹ̀ lẹ́nu. Lọ́jọ́ Thursday ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí. Olórí ogun ayé rẹ̀ máa ṣubú lulẹ̀ nínú àdúrà. Àwọn àṣàmọ́gbé ogun máa fẹsẹ̀ fẹ́. Lábẹ́ ìfàmì òrùnyàn àpá wòlíì máa jẹun àti àwọn olórí ẹ̀mí tí wọ́n máa pẹ̀lú prọfẹ̀tà gbẹ́mi Sọ́lá Ibrahim JP ṣiṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́. Big Clinic Solution Mountain. Kátó dé ìdí ayùn rẹ̀ police station. Circular Road Junction ìdí ayùn rẹ̀. Kí gbogbo ẹni tó bá ń bọ̀. Wọ́n omi kẹ̀kẹ́ lọ́wọ́. Pẹ̀lú yanrin ilẹ̀. Fọ́nà lọ́wọ́ àdúrà. 080-55-16-4104. Ní Thursday ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí agbára máa yí ọwọ́ padà. Ọ̀nà àbáyọ rẹ̀ máa là lórúkọ Jésù.
In Donlandio, my people for challenge Orita, New Garage, Felele, Sonyo, Gorich, Soka, plus include all the neighboring areas them. Living Proof Supermarket don't tanda gidigba for Felele. Yes, so Living Proof Bakery and Supermarket where they sell all kind daily needs for manufacturer's price, like a provision, beverages, toiletries, beauty products, and Babanla Orishirishi gift items them. Where we say na manufacturer's products you go get anything when you buy for Living Proof Supermarket, especially all of una una wey dey gbaladu their sardine bread. Na as e dey hot and fresh, you go dey enjoy am. To get value for your money, no dey follow leg over again o. Na Living Proof Supermarket make you dey patronize. Dem dey opposite mainland filling station, Ologuneri Road, Eleyele, and their new outlet wey dey former Pinnacle Building along Challenge Road, Idiodo bus stop, Felele, Ibadan. Dem telephone be 080-3545-7120 abi 081-5466-4418. Living Proof Supermarket na consumer friend. Gbogbo ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ o. A kú ọdún àjíǹde àti ìmúrasílẹ̀ àwẹ̀ Ramadan. Àjọ tó ń rí sí ìgbòkègbodò ọkọ̀ pẹ̀lú ojú pópó nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́, Ọ̀yọ́ State Road Transport Management Authority, OITMA, lábẹ́ alága Mọ́gàjí Akínfágbèmí ló ń ránṣẹ́ ìkíni sí gbogbo ènìyàn, pàápàá jùlọ ìṣọ̀wọ́ ajílẹ̀ ojú pópó, àgàgà ìyẹn ọlọ́kọ̀ èrò, onímàrúwá pẹ̀lú ọlọ́kadà. Wọ́n tún kí gbogbo lọ́balọ́ba pẹ̀lú ọ̀gá wa gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ní pàtàkì jùlọ. A kú ọdún àjíǹde. Lásìkò pọ̀pọ̀ sísìn ọdún yìí, a rọ gbogbo ọlọ́kọ̀ èrò, onímàrúwá pẹ̀lú ọlọ́kadà. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa rọra ṣe ká lè dènà ìjàmbá òun àkọlùkọgbà. Ẹ dúró síbi tó yẹ láti gbèrò. Ká ṣe àmúlò àwọn bus stop tuntun gbogbo tó wà káàkiri ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Àjọ tó ń rí sí ìgbòkègbodò ọkọ̀ pẹ̀lú ojú pópó lábẹ́ ọmọ yín alága Mọ́gàjí Akínfágbèmí ló ń kéde ẹ̀ ló ń ṣàdúrà wípé láburú òní bá gbogbo wa ẹ ṣàmì ẹ̀.
Safasa pelisizo simnyama Iwasafa isizo saba
All right, thank you for staying with us. In case you just joining, this is the Podium on 32 FM 94.9, and my name is Ezekiah Oluwaseun Akinride. I have with me, connecting by phone from Abuja, an advocate of federal equity, Dr. Akin Fakbonda. Dr. Fakbonda, I believe you're still there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Southwest. The document you shared with me last night, you did a socio-economic analysis of the region.
Yes.
And the 6 states, Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ondo, Ekiti, should be the fulcrum of whatever the Yorubas are agitating for. But looking at the figures, the IGR profile in 2019, it shows that we are still very lean. If you look at the percentage IGR of total revenue, only 2 states crossed the 50% mark. Lagos State with 71%, Ogun State with 57%. And then you look at the revenue, expenditure, and deficit profile, you see that all of the states are in deficit, with the least being Ondo, that has a deficit, Ogun, that has a deficit of 18.4 billion. You look at the recurrent expenditure, all of the states are above 70%. That is the recurrent expenditure, that percentage that is recurrent of their total expenditure is over 70%. You look at indebtedness status, all of the 6 Southwest states are deeply indebted to their creditors. And then you cannot really see that space of development. Infrastructural development is lacking. Educational advancement is very low. You cannot even say human capacity development is anywhere near the acceptable index. What exactly are we going to build a Yoruba nation upon with the way we are?
Okay. The problem is with the 1999 Constitution. It's like you have a house. You created 50 bedrooms in a house. Things you don't need, you just lock the rooms up. The federal government constitution creates local governments, allows governors to be executive in creating ministries, in creating parastatals. Lagos State alone has 43 ministries. For what? They just appointed 17 permanent secretaries, new, meaning that they may have over 60 permanent secretaries. So wasteful. Lagos State has 46 ministries. They have 86 parastatals, all drawing salary. No money left to do anything for the people at all. So the restructuring is even for Yoruba land. We can't afford this kind of 1999 constitution that just based on sharing money from Abuja for the governors to be having security votes, for them to be going in 20-car convoy. That's the problem. We just have to change in Yoruba land, want to develop. My state of Osun State is just indebted. They are just managing to pay salary. And they are still owing 12 to 24 months of arrears from Aregbesola time. You can't develop like that. That's the problem that has to be solved. We have to break the government of Yoruba land down. We have to make governors to be part-time. In fact, we can't afford full-time governors anymore. Because the cost, they are draining our blood. They are sucking energy out of the system. The situation is very bad. Very, very bad. And the document I sent to you, I've just doing a study. I just listed 100 companies that have closed down in Yoruba land. 100 companies that were established through the sweat and energy of Yorubas. They have been closed down or just running epileptically. We need to make glass in Yoruba land. We need to make batteries in Yoruba land. We need to make electric fan, Debo Industries. We need to make plastic, nipple pack plastics in Ibadan. We need to make vegetable oil. All those industries. We need to can fruits. Lafia Canning Factory. Pharmaceuticals. Breweries. We need to make tires. Obitola Tire Soul. All those things are gone under the umbrella of Nigeria. We have to rebuild seriously, otherwise we are dead.
Doctor, if the economy of the Southwest is floundering, the Southwest states or the Southwestern states are governed by their own sons. The governor of Lagos State is a Yoruba man. Osun State, Yoruba, Ogu Yoruba, Oyo, Ekiti, Ondo, they are governed by Yoruba men. I should think that we should direct, I mean, let me put it this way. Don't you think we should even direct the searchlight or the spotlight, whatever we want to use, on these persons who superintend the affairs of their states, yet they have done poorly over time?
In truth, they will tell you that they are obeying the constitution of Nigeria. They will tell you that allocation comes from Abuja. They will tell you that you don't even pay any tax directly.
But is it not their responsibility to manage what they get well? Must they spend it frivolously? Must this financial irresponsibility be excused on the basis of a flawed constitution?
In fairness, I pity them. I pity anyone who is running government now, because it's a 4-year cycle of raising money and stealing money to run for election. If you run for all the people who won as governor, do you know how much Seyi Makinde spent to become governor of Oyo State? Do you know how much it took for Aregbesola to fight to win the governor? You know how many lawyers SCN paid? Do you know how much it took Aregbesola to win the election this last time? The system allows them to amass so much money to run for election, and the money has to be paid back. It's the system that they themselves are in prison. They don't even know. All of them now, they are going to run for election. You need money to run this. That's why the presidential system, the executive governor system, is what makes people to be crazy. If it is changed, you run for election. If I were to run for election now in Yoruba land, I will run from Ilesha, where I'm coming from. I don't need to campaign beyond Ilesha town. My family name is enough to run for election. I don't need campaign coordinator in Iwo. I don't need campaign coordinator in Ikirun. I don't need campaign coordinator in Ikiri to win under a better system. But for now, if I want to run now in Osun State, I will not need less than 2 billion naira to buy vehicles, set up offices. So, in all honesty, I wish they can just think and know that they are in a worse situation than the way we are, because all they are doing is to amass money to win the election. They remove Ambody because he wasn't sharing money. When you are there, you must share money to all your campaign loyalists. All these agencies created in Lagos State is to reward people who have worked for the governor now. This gentleman called Joe Ibokwe that always shouts in Lagos. Is it not because he was given Lagos State appointment that he shouts? It's not just to reward him. So when you have a system based on what we have now, everybody is guilty. We are in darkness until we bring out light. They themselves don't know that they are in big trouble. That's not the truth. But I agree, they themselves don't want change because they think they are enjoying the way it is now. But we that are on the receiving end of this trouble now must have to say no. It will take time for that to come to pass.
All right, Doctor, let's get to this. You made some proposals on how Nigeria should move. Are you with me, Doctor?
I'm with you.
Yeah. Now, you made some proposals on how we should move, and that was in your February 25 presentation. And then you tried to share out responsibilities that should be exclusive to the federal government, those that should be exclusive to state government, and then the shared responsibilities. Right? Now,
yes.
this is now the question. A people who are used to one another, and then a people that have shared the same set of nature's benefits over the years, how easy do you think it will be to break it up and then allow the constituent units to stand on their own?
See, we deceive ourselves. At the level of individuals, I'm not fighting an Igbo person. I'm not fighting a Badi man. We have no problem living as neighbors. Yorubas go across to Benin Republic, they go to Togo, they come back. Yorubas are in Côte d'Ivoire. There is no problem with day-to-day movement and living. But you know it yourself that once you cross to Benin Republic, the gendarmes, the rule of the government there is different from the rule of Yoruba land. If you cross to Togo, it's different. We are saying we want a political system that allows you to know where you are and who you are responsible to. The problem we have is that the leaders in all over Nigeria, they are able to lie to the people. Oh, it's Abuja, it's Abuja, it's Abuja. And how many people come to Abuja? Most are not been to Abuja all their lives. So there's something like we used to say Christians, we say, oh, principalities and powers is the enemy. Whereas the enemy is yourself. There is no principality and power anywhere. So what will happen now is that, look, once we restructure, as I told you, I'll still be living in Abuja. And an Hausa man can live in Sabo in Ile-Ife. But that man in Ile-Ife knows that he's now in Yoruba land. He cannot say he wants to be governor, he wants to be senator, and say Lagos is no man's land. What we are saying is to have mutual respect for people's culture and way of life. Yorubas believe in hard work. Every Yoruba man raise money to send children to school, and you want results from that. Others don't send their children to school. They are now bandits. Others are traders. Yorubas are not traders. We are professionals. We are engineers. We are lawyers. We are doctors. We are accountants. We like to use our brain to create wealth. We are IT people. We don't believe in buying and selling all kinds of things. So let's have our own area to do what we want. That's just the principle. Don't use politics to dominate and control. Look at it now. Lagos Port is controlled by our friends from the north. The customs controlled by our friends from the north. Electronic trade controlled by our friends from the east. How can it be? That cannot continue. We have to restructure. Thank you.
Okay, now in one of your provisions, because I'll be letting you go in a moment, in one of your proposals under desired governance framework, you wrote this, I think that's item 10. You said ethnic nationalities and peoples in each region shall have the right to maintain, reconfigure or merge and or establish new administrative units and or adopt any suitable nomenclature via a referendum mounted for the purpose without any interference by any other regional authority. Do you want to shed some light on that?
Very simple. The Yoruba land, look, we are deceived. The northern Nigeria is not northern Nigeria. Up to Mokwa, up to Jeba, they are Yoruba speaking. Yoruba land extends to Mokwa and to Jeba. All the area they call northern Nigeria is western Nigeria. People have to be allowed to decide. The Okuns of Kaba will decide whether they want to be Fulanis or they want to be Yorubas. That's number one. Number two, within Yoruba land too, we must decide. People in Barapa can say they want to be on their own. Why not? Why not? If they can say they want to be on their own, why not? Once we remove the idea of money coming from somewhere else, once you are living according to your means, then you are free to be on your own.
Are we then not going to have a situation where the breakup never ends? Because when the Yorubas pull out of this and stand on their own, the Barakpas tomorrow wake up and say they want to stand on their own. The Egbas say they want to stand on their own. And then we continue to break up into, smaller units that way.
Yeah, we are not breaking up. It's just memorandum of understanding, a document of relationships. We are not breaking up like you break a clay pot. No. Look, we are going to have things that will bind us together. We are going to form our own jam. We are going to form our own road network. We are going to form our own educational system. There are some things you cannot do alone. But if we are all Yorubas, Yoruba can say we want to just promote IT. All our children, just like the Americans went to the space in 1962, we can say we want to promote IT. And then we do IT. Yoruba can say we love meat so much. Okay, let every area produce cows for our own meat. And people in Barakwa might say we are best to produce cow meat. So let's establish all the ranches in the Barakwa land. And people in Lagos will buy the meat from Shati or from Igbo or wherever. So it's not as if we are going to use knife to cut cloth away. It's only thing like that when you are family, you have family meeting, you decide what suits you. I've told the audience in this program that Yorubas have common features. We work hard and then we party well over the weekend. Is that not our own culture? The Northerners don't even eat meat at all. They don't eat meat in their food. They just produce cows. Okay, since we eat meat now, let's produce our own meat. Let's not buy cows from anybody. So people don't want change. That they will bring all this false narrative that we're patronizing. That's not true. It's a means to just scare people away. It is for us to okay. Let Yoruba man cheat me at the fight than a Fulani man to cheat me. We are going to talk about it as Yoruba together. We speak the same language, but you are speaking Fufude. I don't understand. And then you say we should be unequally tied together by force. Please don't let us take this narrative for people trying to scare us away from so that we shall remain under a position of slavery forever. Thank you.
How much engagement do we have with the parliamentarians from the Southwest in the National Assembly?
We don't have to, as I said, Yorubas don't, we are too sophisticated to call people to a room to meet.
You think we don't need those legislators at the National Assembly?
We need them. They themselves, they are oppressed because how many of them, if you want to vote in National Assembly in Abuja now, how many Yoruba senators are there? The senators from the north, they are far more. Democracy, Yoruba cannot get 50% votes. So it's almost futile. They look, when you talk to some of them, I have 2, 3 among them, 4 or 5. They are not happy themselves.
So what are they doing about it? Are they building? They should be building coalition across regions within the National Assembly. You know, I asked that question initially. Should they not be building coalition along that line to mobilize and force a decision in the National Assembly to review this present order?
It's not as easy as you think, and it's not also difficult. Just know that things are evolving gradually. There will be a time when the masquerade will have to come out. The time is not yet right. But it is we, the masses, that will bring them out too. Even masquerade has to be brought out. Do you agree? Masquerade has to be brought out from where he is. Somebody has to put the ground over. Leave them. They are not children, I'm telling you. I have friends among them. When the right time comes, when we make a call, when the Yoruba nation make a call, this is what we want. Whoever does not fall in line, I told you what happened to those who did not fall in line in the past. And history is still the same. When others made that leave Abacha government, some people did not leave. You see the repercussion on their own person. I'm not saying it, but it's in history. Operation West here was part of our history in Yoruba land. There's a means of enforcement. If all wars fail, if all persuasions fail, I'm not hoping for it. I'm not praying for it. But the world made bombs so that in case there is war, you can apply it. So Operation West here is an option when the time comes. But sincerely, I believe that reason will prevail.
On a final note, this morning, Dr. Fakbunda, I have gone through the documents, the 2 that I have with me, and I want to ask for clarity. The model you're proposing, is it patterned after the model? Is it patterned after any operating model in any country presently? Because I couldn't relate it with the United States. I'm not so sure I can relate it with the UK, except you explain that's what you're saying. Or is it a model that will be peculiar to Nigeria?
Well, Nigeria model is going to be same as what we have in Canada. In Canada, you have provinces. Each province is autonomous on its own. And the federal government cannot dictate to the provinces. In UK, it's almost like what you might get in Nigeria. There is Britain, there is Wales, there is Scotland, there is Ireland. They all play World Cup. They fly their flag. And they have their own parliament. And it's still called United Kingdom. So we might have United Nations of Nigeria because we are all nations. Yoruba is a nation. Igbo is a nation. Hausa, they are a nation. We might have United Nations of Nigeria, the same way that Britain has Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and Britain. Even then, with the autonomy that the Scottish have in United Kingdom, they're asking for more. They're asking for outright independence, even United Kingdom. So no human nature, no human government is 100% perfect. Life is about continuous improvement. But we follow the UK model, Canadian model, it will douse tension. It will cool things down. There will be small problems again, but major problem will have been solved. I don't know whether I'm clear about this fact.
Okay, yeah, the fact is clear. And then, okay, let me ask this, if you don't mind. So, how would you be suggesting that, or how would you suggest that the debt burden of Nigeria be shared among those component nations, if what you are proposing happens?
Look, you cannot say you don't want to see blood, but you want to be in maternity ward.
Mm-hmm.
So, the debt of Nigeria today was acquired in the name of all Nigerians. The debt of Osun State was acquired by Aregbesola in the name of every Osun State indigene, whether we like it or not. The thing to do is that if you take Osun State, if Aregbesola took debt to build road in Ilesha will have to pay the debt. If he took loan to build a roundabout in Osogbo, will have to pay the debt. You inherit the assets, you inherit the liabilities. The same thing in Nigeria too. The rail line from Kano to Niger Republic, the debt has to be taken by people who are inheriting the assets. They are retired by down to Lagos Road. They took Sukuk loan for it. The debt has to be taken by Ogun and Lagos State plus Oyo State. It's very simple. By the time you plug all the leakages in your area, you pay that you just pay your debt, you negotiate the debt. Obviously, you negotiated debt many years ago now. If you are owing, you talk to your bankers, please, I owe you 100 million, but I can pay 60. Can you write off this balance? Then you start on the clean slate. Then you don't take debts anymore. You live within your means. It's straightforward.
The very last question this morning for you. A 1 million man march was announced some weeks ago to hold very soon. Will Dr. Akifakpo be joining that 1 million man march, and will you be mobilizing for it?
Well, being on the streets, I have my other methods which I've been advocating. Look, if you want to protest, right? You want to show that you're not happy, right? That's good. Why can't we stay at home, totally clean the streets one day in a month? Like we are environmental. Let everybody just stay off the streets up to 12 noon on a Saturday once a month. That's a sign to show that you are displeased with the system. That's number one. Number two, we can decide to start wearing red bands all over our shoulder as a sign that there is blood going on in the country. Can you imagine if everybody wears a red band, just a piece of cloth? Even the Bible, angel was to pass. There will be blood in the lamppost of every house as a sign that the Jews were rebelling against the Egyptians. So there are many ways. There are many ways in which you can defy the government and make your reason known. The government of Nigeria is the most brutal and uncivilized. See the way they shot people during NSAS. They can waste you without thinking, and they will tell you that they didn't touch you at all. We saw guns, and they said they didn't shoot anything.
And the United States corroborated the position of the federal government, saying
the white people want us to remain where we are because If you have a good government, are we going to not build refinery in 20 years? If you have a good government, are they not the one enjoying the fact that we have no refinery? They buy petrol from crude oil from us. They sell us petrol. The tankers belong to them. The loader belong to them. Insurance belong to them. The white people want us to remain where we are now, where we are totally helpless and dependent on them. So they will do small things. They are the ones doing what we are doing now, until we have to take our own life into our own hands. Don't expect help from anybody. In fact, they will fight us. What did Gaddafi do that they killed Gaddafi? Gaddafi is just a friend of his own people, but they don't want it. So I don't think about these foreign things. They are to put spanner into our works. They will not let us be. And it's a very big challenge. But we have to keep working towards at least doing something for ourselves. We should not remain in position of slavery forever.
I want to thank you for speaking with me this morning, Dr. Akifakpunda.
I thank you and thank your listeners.
I wish you a very beautiful weekend and a happy Easter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. Good morning.
And thank you. Bye-bye to listeners. Bye.
Safasa pelisizo simnyama Iwasafa Isizo saba Yamula mo Halijani mo
And that was the engagement with Dr. Akifakpunda this morning. I'm going on a commercial break. When I come back, the phone line will be opened so that I can take your reactions. You've heard all he said. I think that was a very wide discussion, very broad. He touched the economy of the Southwest. We talked about how to share the debt burden. And then we talked about the irresponsibility of those who are even here. And then there was that angle about the agitation of the Southeast and history, of course. After this commercial break, I will open the phone line and you can engage me. But take down the number first. 090 62949. 090 62949. Commercial break, and when I come back, we'll continue.
32 FM 94.9.
Do you need a flexible workspace and affordable place to conduct your daily business activities? Look no further, because Quantum Pod offers you all you need. Services include co-working spaces, shared office spaces, private offices, meeting and training rooms, virtual office spaces with 24/7 power supply, internet access, networking and events, free administrative support staff, and flexible payment plan. Quantum Pod is located at number 7 Obori Efon Close at Washika Avenue, Old Bodija, Ibadan. You can call us on 0814-289-2172 or 0814-186-3097. Quantum Pod is open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mondays to Friday. Come, work in an inspiring, comfortable, and productive environment.
Glam Creations, Tumbe Tumbe. Oh yes. Glam Creations, Tumbe Tumbe. Oh yes. Easter Bunny, Mani Wani Kejalo. Oh yes. Àríyá tí onípẹ̀kun ń bẹ níbẹ̀.
Gbàmúgbàmù jìgìjìgì gbogbo fàájì lọ́jọ́ Easter Monday ọjọ́ karùn-ún oṣù kẹrin ọdún 2021. Glam Creations àwọn náà tẹ́ pẹpẹ ètò Easter Bunny náà pé níbi tọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ orin ijó comedians lóríṣiríṣi jíjẹ mímu ní gbẹ̀yìn ohun èlò ṣeré àtàgbà àtọmọdé ó yẹ lọ́jọ́ yẹn mo lè máa wà látàgọ́ méjì ọ̀sán tó fi máa dago mẹ́sàn-án lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ní ti sẹ́ksì ó máa gbà sí wa lára gidi ta ẹ̀ tún wá gbọ́ ò ṣẹ́gun àrísí ń bọ̀ gbajúgbajù ní tíátà gbogbo wa Veneroya hall lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ First Bank UI Ìbàdàn 2,000 lówó wọlé table for 10 200,000 fàájì ọjọ́ yẹn ti máa tó mi alágbájú tẹ́ ẹ bá ti ń bọ̀ ẹ lọ bọ̀ mú fún tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì àbí reservation ẹ máa pè 07039390279 ẹ̀mí wọ́n ṣọ̀pọ̀ dùn.
Makole Mara.
Ó yá jí máa sùn. sùn nínú special star promo tí lè ṣe Infinity Estate tó ń talẹ̀ fọkànbalẹ̀ yẹn ń ṣe báyìí fáwọn lẹ́wọ̀n tí wọ́n ń tà.
ìròyìn ayọ̀ rẹ̀ ó yẹ ṣẹlẹ̀ fún wa.
bàbá gbàjámọ̀ àti gbogbo ẹni tó fẹ́ kọ́lé dùnú lákòókò àjíǹde yìí iléeṣẹ́ Infinity fẹ́ta Infinity Estate phase 3 tó wà ní kílẹ̀ ẹ̀fọ̀n town ní Bàdàbẹ́kúta expressway ní 85,000 naira per plot pẹ̀lú 45,000 owó dọ́kúmẹ̀ntì ẹ̀ àti Infinity Estate phase 4 tó wà ní kílẹ̀ ẹ̀fọ̀n town bákan náà tó ti dìlú gbà 120,000 naira per plot nìyẹn pẹ̀lú 45,000 owó dọ́kúmẹ̀ntì ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀bùn tó pọ̀pọ̀pọ̀ tẹ́ ẹ máa gbà lákòókò yìí tètè lọ́rọ̀ tí ó. bákan náà wọ́n tún talẹ̀ lówódé Ìlàró road lẹ́nìjà bus stop off Atan road 300,000 naira per plot nìyẹn pẹ̀lú 100,000 owó dọ́kúmẹ̀ntì ẹ̀ àyẹ̀sọ́ díẹ̀díẹ̀ àti gbẹ̀tánwà ọ́fíìsì Infinity Estate wà ní Lashore bus stop opposite Mobi filling station Ọ̀tà road Ogun State telephone 081-222-911-45 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí 081-222-911-45.
Ìbàdàn 9 mobile 4G LTE ti balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀. àfihàn eré ìdárayá bí wọ́n ṣe ń gbà wọn ní yàjóyàjó á yàtọ̀. ìpè lórí fídíò àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ kéṣe fún iṣẹ́ yóò máa lọ ní rọrùn kò sí yọnu.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o Ìbàdàn ẹ jẹ gbádùn ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ ayélujára pẹ̀lú ojúlówó 4G LTE lórí àtẹ data 9 mobile gba gígábáìtì méjì pẹ̀lú wíwà lórí social media lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ fún ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà gígábáìtì méje pẹ̀lú wíwà lórí social media lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ fún ẹgbẹ̀rún kan lé lẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà àti gígábáìtì mẹ́ta àtààbọ̀ dátà lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ lálẹ́ ní àwọn àṣàyàn olóṣooṣù fún dátà ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún kan náírà àti jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tẹ *200*3*1# láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìlànà àtàdéhùn wàṣà o 9 mobile.
Moments can be ordinary. It's what we make of them that really matter. Make the best of every moment, every day, like super moms do with Indomie. Moments to laugh with Indomie. Moments to share with Indomie.
Safa sapeli sizo simnyama. Iwasafa.
All right, I have a reaction already. The phone lines are buzzing, or the phone line is buzzing. Please bring up. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for calling the station.
That man was wonderful.
Okay, please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
I'm coming from Owode, Apata.
Okay, go ahead. You have a minute.
That doctor is wonderful. Though I don't know why you let him go. Like, questions.
Oh, okay. Like you wanted to ask him questions.
Just to learn more from him. He really was wonderful. I would have just loved to ask him, how do we really go about this thing? When even our own people, out of selfishness, will not really want this torture. For instance, we will need those in the House of Assembly to pass this law. You understand? Changing. But those people in House of Assembly, in the National Assembly rather, they are the same people that are benefiting from it. And some of them are Yoruba. So because of what they are benefiting from it, do you think they want this change?
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this, Mr. Femi. Your question has been answered in a document that Dr. Fakpounda sent to me. And I can share the document with you. Let me give you the number to chat on WhatsApp. Parents, please come over. A number, call your WhatsApp number. Please just take down this number and then you chat the number on WhatsApp. So we'll forward the document to you. Dr. Fakpounda did an excellent work on that document. Okay, call the number for him.
Okay. 081.
081.
Yeah, 65.
Okay. 65.
63.
48.
48.
4 what?
4 and 8.
48.
Then 89.
48. Okay. 89.
Yes.
Okay.
So just chat up that number after the program. Perez is going to forward the document to you.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
And I'm enjoying your program.
Thank you.
It's wonderful.
Thanks for the kind words. Thank you. 090-62,949. 09062000 You also can bring in your reactions. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yes, very well. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Wale. I'm from Ojo.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, so the doctor did a very good job explaining a lot of things, because before now, people have the mindset that asking for independence, because I see it as independence now, because we want to be independent from all the Nigerian nation, is a crime. They've so much criminalized it because of the civil war that happened in the past, and it's not a crime because it's a union, and when people involved in a union say they are not interested anymore, they should be allowed to go. So what I think is, if our government is responsible, and if this is not, I don't want to use some words on radio, but what they should do is to actually give us a referendum. Let the people actually come and say, Yoruba people, let them come and say they want to be part of the Nigerian Union, or they don't want to be part of it. And if the majority of people say they don't want to be a part of the Nigerian Union, let them go. Because I feel like the Nigerian state is too large. Because look at the entire United Kingdom, it's not even as large as few states in the Nigerian state.
But do you think the problem is? Do you think the problem is with the size of Nigeria? The state of Texas.
It is part of it.
The state of Texas. Are you with me? The state of Texas is almost as big as the whole of Nigeria. Yet it's a state under the United States.
The United States. Now, answering your question, the United States have been around for hundreds of years, and they've overcome some of these challenges decades ago. But now, this Nigeria, based on our available technology and the human resource, our major problem is the human resource. If we have people that are not selfish, definitely they will be able to tackle some of these problems. But the Nigerian state is, while I'm talking about the large, the size, what I'm talking about the size is because now, as large as the Nigerian state is, we have different ethnic groups, and people only represent their own interests. The Fulani people want to represent their own interests. The government of the day is actually looking as if they are leaning towards a particular ethnic group, because that is where the majority of people in that government, that is where they are from. So when the size has been cut short, and you can't really say, oh, I want to represent the interests of an Edaman, or I want to, because the problem becomes much simpler. But because of the size and our diversity and the kind of human resource we have, it is a challenge. Because people represent only their own interests, and based on available technology and all, we cannot truly manage this size. Because look at what the current government is facing. You know that they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
you very much.
I appreciate your time. I really want to play this song. I mean, in the midst of despair and despondency, you want to bring a bit of hope. God Bless Nigeria by Nosa.
Land of unity, land of peace. This may sound funny, but when I look around, that is what I see. Land of such ethnic and cultural diversity. A land so rich, giant of Africa. Indeed. Land of champions, land of the best. In the midst of the adversities, we stood the test. Yeah, yeah. And through all the mess of these years, one day we'll come clean. the abundance. So many people know they enjoy the benefits of the plenty things we get from under our soil. But I hope that one day we go change our ways so that for the future generation, Nigeria will be a better
Zero 09062,949. You want to react to that interview with Dr. Akin Fakbunda? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Pastor.
Hey, Mr. Tony, how you doing?
Thank you very much.
Nice to have
Thank you very much. Happy Easter to you.
Same to you, sir.
And all the suspects in the studio.
Thank you.
Yeah, a very good work there from that Dr. Fakbunda. But I don't have much to say. The truth is, we are talking about Southern solidarity. And from the presentation of the doctor this morning, for me, it looks like there's nothing like Southern solidarity. Because if you saw the way doctor referred to the Igbos in Lagos, how they want to claim Lagos is their own, talk about the Adlaba market, talk about, I know in the first instance, yes, Toya Brown, number one, our manager man from Ijo tribe. Yes, doctor number one from the first one is Yoruba man. Okere is one, is an Igbo man. But the truth is, we are talking about South. Now, we have 19 northern governors. There's nothing like northeast governors, northwest governors, central. They are not a group, a block. And this divide and rule issue has been trending, has been killing us in the southern part of the country. We have refused to unite. Because if we are talking about unity and we are talking about solidarity of the southern Nigeria, then those things that the doctor said this morning, where are we headed? Pastor, where are we headed? You were listening. It was one of the Yorubas, as far as it's concerned. Yes, Yorubas are they are strong block in the policy of the Nigerian nation. But again, we thought we would come as one and have one formidable front that we will not be divided, irrespective of our languages. My wife is from Yoruba. My wife is a Yoruba woman. So what am I saying? My children are more of Yoruba, I'm more of Ijos. So when we are talking about force, I'm a Yoruba man. If Igbos want to claim that all those, then we are not headed. We are not going anywhere. I think we should change that concept. He's done a very good work, but I think we should think more than that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tony Brown. It's always nice. It's always nice talking to you. One last call today, 09062,949. All right. It is Easter weekend, but then, it's sad to bring this, but we received reports that the publicity secretary of the Afenifere, Mr. Yinka Odumaki, died overnight. The reports are out, and, well, we're waiting to have more confirmation, but then that's the update now. 09062,949, the number to call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Pastor.
Thank you for
Pastor Comrade. My name is Dorothy Figo.
Figo, good morning.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop the radio now so that we can talk better.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, I got into the program midway, but obviously from what I heard, Dr. Fakunda did a very great job of charting a way forward for Nigeria. Hello, Pastor.
Oh, I'm with you, Figo.
Yes. The gentleman that spoke last talked about Southern solidarity. Now, the whole idea is that Singapore is an island state. It got self-governance from Britain in 1959. It got independence with Malaysia and some other nationalities in 1963. But just 2 years after, it gained independence from Malaysia and that union again. Now, the right to self-governance and independence is inalienable to human beings. So nobody should come and criminalize the fact that somebody wants to determine how to govern himself or to be independent. It is not a crime, just like Dr. Fakunda has said. Now, the gentleman that spoke last talked about 19 northern governors. That is a fraud in itself. The governor of Kwara State is not a northern governor. That is the truth. He's not a northern governor. Kwara State has, I think, 16 local governments, 12 of which are actually Yoruba speaking. So how can you classify Kwara State as a northern state in Nigeria? So those are parts. Kogi State has Yoruba speaking parts. So how can Kogi State be a northern state? So as presently constituted, Nigeria, God cannot bless Nigeria as presently constituted because it is a fraud. And God does not associate himself with frauds. The last time God stopped blessing Nigeria was when you had the western region, you had the northern region, and you had the eastern region. And if you look at it, the evidence is very clear. That was when we had the Cocoa House. That was when we had a lot of developments in the eastern part of the country, and that was when we had the northern pyramid. But the moment we formed this unholy alliance of Nigeria as a unitary system, that was when God stopped blessing Nigeria as a whole, and we started losing everything that we had. Nigeria got a TV station even before France. Those were part of the blessings God gave us before we now formed this unitary rubbish that we are practicing now. A unitary system where only people from the north are the ones that are blessed to fight crime, and yet they are not even fighting the crime. They are the only ones that can manage security, and yet there is a lot of insecurity. They are the only ones that can manage our ports, even though they don't have a drop of water in the north. They are the ones heading MPA, they are the ones heading NNPC, even though they don't have a drop of oil anywhere in the north. So this has to stop. People have to come, and for the gentleman that spoke, Lagos is not a no man's land. Lagos is Yoruba land, and that is the truth. And people must need to realize that. Just like Onisha, Anambra State is an Igbo part, not a no man's land. Just like Kano is a northern state, not no man's land. I was born and brought up in Kano State, but I can't even go there to sound to contest for councillorship. So we have to tell ourselves the truth and nothing but the truth. Yorubas have a right to conduct a referendum to decide what they want to do. And the people in Kwara State, the people in Kogi State, the people in Edo State, they have the right to decide whether they want to be part of the eastern region or they want to be part of the western region. And this contraption called Southwest, it is not Southwest, it is western region. Western region extends to most parts of Kwara State, to some parts of Kogi State, to some parts of Edo State, to some parts of Delta State.
Okay,
so,
Figo.
And the Europeans, the British that brought us together knew why they brought us together. If we had been on our own, by now we would have. The population of Singapore is less than 6 million people, even till date. And yet, it is one of the most prosperous nations in the world. They don't have oil. All they have are human resources, which they are utilizing very well. We have human resources in this part of the country, but we can't utilize them because of this federation that is pulling us back.
Okay, I need you to round off now.
No, thank you very much. So,
thank you.
Yorubas have a right to a referendum, and people in Kwara State, people in Edo State, people in Delta State have a right to decide which part of the country they want to be part of. Thank you very
Figo.
much.
Thank you, Figo. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, it's a sad day for Nigeria and especially for Yoruba land because we just confirmed that the publicity secretary of the Afenifere, Mr. INT'L Odumaki, died in the early hours of this morning. INT'L Odumaki lived his time fighting for the emancipation of Yoruba land and defending the cause of justice. We pray that God rests his soul and that the dreams he had, the Nigeria he lived to see, the Yoruba land that he lived to see will become a reality even after he is gone. May God rest his soul. That's the program this morning. I want to thank you for staying with me. Next Saturday, I'll be back with a fresh edition of the Podium. Good morning.
ìkànnì adẹ́rìn-pòṣónú